You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilton, and this is my review for Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire is a 2024 fantasy action film directed once again by Adam Wingard. The titans of Godzilla and Kong face an almighty threat from deep below. The king of monsters, Godzilla, and King Kong face a colossal threat hidden deep within the planet that challenges their very existence and the survival of the human race. The film stars returning cast members Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, and Kaylee Hottle, with newcomer Dan Stevens. All right, so if you can't tell by the background, I even got another cup here. I have more Godzilla merch all around, Godzilla steelbooks, Kong movies, the whole deal. I love the Monsterverse, and I am a Godzilla stan here, okay? A Godzilla fanboy through and through. So I was so excited to get the invitation to attend the screening here in Denver for the latest in the Monsterverse, Godzilla X Kong. So I'm one of those Godzilla fans who has actually enjoyed all of the Monsterverse movies. That's right, even the ones that everyone else didn't like. I had a great time with King of the Monsters. I really enjoyed 2014 Godzilla. I liked Kong Skull Island and really enjoyed Godzilla v Kong. So I was so happy that we were getting a follow-up to Godzilla vs. Kong. And then the trailer came out and it looked like exactly what I was hoping for. And I have to say, it delivered exactly what I was hoping for. I had a blast with Godzilla X Kong. So let's go ahead and jump into the positives first. Well, my biggest positive is our main attraction, Godzilla, Kong, and all of the rest of the monsters that are included in this film, because they're the stars here. This is definitely Kong's movie by and large. We start the film off with him, and he goes on an actual character arc journey in this film, more so than any of the human characters themselves, more so than any of the other monsters. It's Kong's journey. And I loved Kong. I thought they made him really endearing, really relatable, funny. He looked great for the most part. He was fantastic. And then we have Godzilla, who's kind of taking care of business up on the mainland, who spends a lot of the movie kind of just going from one charging point to the next. Little did we know Godzilla operates in a similar fashion to your electric car, just a lot more powerful. But his sequences obviously make up some of the coolest sequences in the entire film. Godzilla's here to bring the firepower, and them two, as a team, is awesome, as you expect, as it was in their previous film. But our new monsters that are brought in here are great. I really liked Shimo specifically. The design was really cool. Scar King was much different than I anticipated, actually. I feel like I didn't see his full body and what he was all about in the trailers. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But I liked it. It was a lot different than I was anticipating. And how he used his authority and his mind really worked well for the film. Suko is this new little ape in the movie that obviously has been heavily promoted in the trailers and promotional materials. He had a lot more character than I was anticipating as well. And then these random one-off monsters that we either have to fight or that we see in passing in Hollow Earth, they're all awesome. And we spend a lot of time with them. The entire third act is just wall-to-wall monster mayhem, and it is just as awesome as it sounds. But I have to say it, I really liked our human characters in this film too. I know they get a lot of slack in all of the films, but I really enjoyed the arc we got with Jaya. I've really enjoyed her character actually since we met her back in Kong Skull Island. I'm glad we've kept her as kind of a solid through line with all of these films, and her connection with Kong continues to be a big heartbeat of this series. And I love what they did with her character here. And I thought her and Rebecca Hall specifically had great chemistry. Rebecca Hall, once again, continues to be an underrated gem. She's great in this movie in what could be just a throwaway paycheck job. I think she does as much as she possibly could with it. And then we have Brian Tyree Henry and Dan Stevens, who are just having a blast, and they are so fun. Their comedic timing is great. They also have great chemistry together, and it made for an enjoyable moment. So when we're not with the Titans and the monsters, I was still having a good time because I was having fun with what the human characters were putting down. I'd say by and large, the visual effects look great in this film. The budget is reportedly under $150 million. And when you have two CGI giant creatures as your like main drawing point, and Kong specifically has that much screen time, I think they utilize this budget really well, and the special effects look top tier for the amount of money they spent on this. Hollow Earth looks fantastic, and all of these different regions we go within look great. I also think the camera work and the direction by and large from Adam Wingard are really solid. We get some really cool, like upside down, almost spinning, but in really slow, epic style as we move through some sequences. We get this really cool moment when we're entering Hollow Earth once more. The use of scale is on full display. I got to see this in IMAX tonight, and it is filmed for IMAX. It uses that screen beautifully. Scale is utilized really well. It's just a really well shot film that lets you see the action, doesn't shy away from what you want to see and experience here. It knows what it is. It gives you those big clap cheesy, cheer-worthy moments throughout. It has some ridiculous but fun dad joke humor in here. It's exactly what you're hoping for when you're heading into the movie theater for a movie about Godzilla and Kong. So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to Godzilla X Kong? Well, I have to say, my biggest disappointment in this film is actually the score. I would say this is definitively the weakest score of the entire Monsterverse. I really don't think Godzilla vs. Kong knocked it out of the park with the original score either. The Kong Skull Island and the two Godzilla standalone movies had much better scores. But I don't know, we get a lot of characters here, a few of which have really iconic themes, and we don't even get a hint of them in this movie, and it was so disappointing. And the score by and large just, I don't know, didn't feel grand and epic enough. It didn't give us anything unique or ethereal as we go into these different lands. It's just kind of like big, bombastic, generic blockbuster music for the most part. And that's really disappointing because there's so much you could do. Also, as a Godzilla boy, as a fan of Godzilla, I wish he was in it a little bit more. He definitely takes a sideline to Kong's storyline in this movie. A lot of stuff is happening in Hollow Earth, so Godzilla up on the surface is a little bit left behind. As I said, he's mostly just going from one location to the next for the first half of the movie, charging up and sleeping. We get a couple of battle scenes that are cool, but I wish we would have seen a little bit more of them, particularly this one that happens in the Arctic, which could have been awesome. We just didn't see very much of it. But I just wish that Godzilla had more screen time. I also think scale is used very oddly here, particularly some of our new monsters vary greatly in scale. One moment I thought they looked quite small overall in the grand scheme of things, and then when Godzilla came around, suddenly they're as big as him or bigger. And I'm like, wait, what is going on? Like, you looked very small before. I thought you were about to get swatted away by Godzilla, and now you're the same size. What happened? And yeah, some of the visual effects do look a little bit wonky. And I will say it mostly happens with Kong. And I think it's because he has hair, he has fur, which is a lot more intensive to CGI and to animate than scales. So sometimes, it's a little bit like matted. The detail kind of fades on Kong when he's shaking off or doing some things. It's far and few between, but when you're this CGI heavy, I would say 85% of the time it looks really, really good. So overall, I loved Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. I think it's a lot of fun. It's 2 hours of everything you're hoping for from this film with better human character storylines and humor and characterization than we've had previously. But most importantly, Adam Wingard and crew know what we're here for. They know why we bought a ticket, and that's for Godzilla and Kong. And the focus remains on them, their development, their story, and their battle. And what fun battles those are. So if you have fun with kaiju movies, if you're looking for a fun blockbuster to kick off the rest of this movie-going year, I don't think it gets much more bombastic and fun than Godzilla X Kong. Definitely check this out. If you've enjoyed the Monsterverse, definitely check it out. Now, if you're one of those Godzilla fans who only wants Toho to do it and thinks everything needs to be only the serious allegories and there's no room for this type of fun, then you'll probably be disappointed. You're still going to see it. Let's be honest. If it's Godzilla, you'll be there just like me, but you'll probably be like, oh, it's not good. But I still think these type of movies have their place, and I have a lot of fun with all of the different types of movies they decide to put Godzilla in. So check this out. See it on an IMAX because it utilizes that format so well. It is big, it's grand, the scale is wonderful. This is what you go to the movie theaters for. So that is my review for Godzilla X Kong. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Godzilla X Kong? What have you thought of the Monsterverse movies to date? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.